Hello everyone, can you hear me? I am Sai Harsha, the operations manager of WissionTalks. If you can hear me, just put something in the comment that you can hear me, or else you can use those symbols. Okay, so you can see the both speaker and me clearly, right? Okay, if you can see that, please put anything in the messages. Please put anything in the chat. Okay, so before starting session, I want to tell you some rules of how this session is being used. So we are in a platform called as AirMeet. So in this, you need to use. There are a couple of things which you need to be keeping in mind. So you start directly to answer a few questions if speaker or I ask you, or else just for normal interaction purposes, use the chat feature. Go to questions feature, in which you will go and I can point out a few questions to our speaker Ravi Vaka, and I'll introduce him in a bit of time. So please make sure that you ask questions only in the question section, and we can upload those questions, and most favorable number of questions will be asked first. So make sure that you ask your questions in a really understandable manner. And yeah, so by the end of the session, we'll be sharing you the link to the feedback form of how the session went. So it's just a Google form. Make sure that you please give us the feedback of the session. It will really help us to make sure we deliver the best content in next sessions as well. So yeah, make sure that you don't miss it out in the end. So right now, I know that you guys experienced social launch a lot, and by the end of the session, we'll have a very tricky Q&A, rapid fire Q&A to sir, and he'll be answering those questions. Those questions are really good. You will like those questions. And yeah, this whole webinar will be going on question and answer round, because this is a really important topic, staying ahead of the competition. And our team did a great work to collect best questions to pose our speaker so that he could deliver the best messages, deliver the good insights in his field. So I want you to ask question. If you have any other questions, please do ask them in the questions tag. So let me start the event right now, sharing the screen and explain you what is the Vision Talks and who is the speaker and what he's good at. Yeah. So if you guys can see our screen, which says hello, welcome to Vision Talks, please give a reply in chat, or else you can use the emojis option wherein you can put some emojis. So yeah, awesome. So you guys can see it. So yeah, so welcome to Vision Talks. This is the second webinar which we have done with the new revolutionary team of Vision Talks, and the topic is staying ahead of the competition. So our vision is to bridge the gap between success and aspiring entrepreneurs. So we wanted to bridge the gap between successful entrepreneurs who are already in the field to the entrepreneurs who are aspiring and building and who want to learn great things, or else to a person who is a lifelong learner. So we want to bridge that gap. And we follow something called as Nenu Local. I know most of us get inspired by people who are like the best in the industry, like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Vishen Lakiani. There are a lot of people who are really good at the field of entrepreneurship and really good at what they do, and we inspire to become them. But to reach them out, to ask questions them out, is a really difficult task. And we follow something called as Nano Local, because there are a lot of people who are successful around us also. They are running a lot of ventures. They are running their own companies, starting from startups to really great companies. So our purpose is to find those people and find the people who have questions, bridge them, so that it will be win-win for both the companies to gain good customers, and also the audience who wanted to ask the questions. It's even good for them also. So by this, we are trying to increase the startup ecosystem into students and also in working professionals and also the budding entrepreneurs. So this is the network which we wanted to do. So let's go. So what we do and why we do is very clear. Then yeah. So a recorded version of the webinar will be available on YouTube and also Facebook. So go to that page. It is actually being lively streamed over there. So make sure that you go there and check it out over there. After, if you miss any points, you can surely check it out over there. Then remember to ask questions, because this is totally question and answers based webinar. So please remember to ask questions that will fetch you a good insights from the industry leader. Okay, so let now introduce about our mentor today, who is Ravi Vaka. So yeah, so Ravi Vaka have really a lot of experience in the field of entrepreneurship. He has expertise in a lot of professional skills like IT consulting, product management, supply chain management, not only in the normal industry, but various industries like aviation, media and logistics, food and beverages, etc. And also, this entrepreneurship experience which Ravi Vaka has is really amazing, and this is actually perfect to ask this question to how to stay ahead of the competitors. So let me introduce you to Mr. Ravi Vaka. So he will start by asking. He'll start by some good words. Okay.
Thanks, Harsha. Thanks for introducing me, and
Okay. So
thanks.
yeah.
And I really appreciate that you guys have invited me to speak to a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, students, and the community, which actually I really like talking to. And my best wishes to Prithvi, Harsha, obviously you, and the team who is driving Vision Talks. I can't hear you.
Let me start asking with the questions. Just a minute. There's a network. There's just an audio problem here. I'll just confirm it.
Can you guys hear me out? I just want to make sure that I'm audible.
So can you guys hear me? Please give some likes or put some. Okay, you can hear me. So the first question which I wanted to ask Mr. Ravi Vaka is. So there are companies like Uber, there are companies like Ola, and they also are in similar aspects, similar things, doing the delivery service, cab driver delivery service, wherein they can book people. But what I question is they both are really great competitors to in those spaces, and there was Meru also, but right now it is not a competitor. There is similar kind of competitor, Rapido, or else a bit other competitor like Vogo or else Bounce. So these are all are things who wanted to make us to make the customer from one place to go to another place. So is there any, even though there is a bit lot of competition in this area, will there be any networking in these companies? In the will Ola?
I lost the last 10 seconds, but then I'm assuming that you are focusing on or trying to emphasize on whether Olas and Uber guys talk to each other or not. Yes, they do. I mean, it's actually very good if two competitors talk to each other, because you need to know what exactly the other person is doing. And there always been, as a company, as a business entrepreneur, set aside Ola and Uber or any companies like Gogo or Rapido, which you have mentioned. So understanding what your competitor is doing is very, very important, because that's how you prepare your roadmap. That's how you understand your customer's requirement. And more so, if you are in a similar space, then your competitor analysis do half of the job for you, and the other half is done by your team and your customers. So it is very, very important to understand what exactly your competition is doing. That's how you compete in the market, and then uh, give the best to your customers. If you miss out on what competitors are doing, you will miss out on a lot of customers, a lot of excitement and fun.
Okay. So what do you say is to success, to have a bit success in the product, we need to understand what all our competitors are doing, what are they into. So is it like a person from Uber and maybe an employee in Uber, and he wants to send his employee as a spy to Ola? Is it being done? That's what my.
Poaching is done, Harsha. I mean, if you're talking about employees moving to one place to another, yeah, it is. It is a regular practice. It is not something which is alien to many of us. But then understand from business context or from employee context. If you're moving from one place to another place, obviously for an entrepreneur it has advantages, because if you are from my competitor's company, I will definitely love to listen to what exactly you have done. But then, from we also ensure that we have all the contracts which are being signed, where there's something called employee disclosure agreements and all, where these are all tightly coupled. No employee does that to you. There will be some exceptions where employees do that, but then most of the times, yeah, I mean, most of the time it doesn't happen that you know not necessarily that your employee will not be loyal about it, and I send a cover to some other company trying to understand what they are doing. Those most of the ethical entrepreneurs would probably not do. But yeah, there can also be exceptions here and there. But then I can only talk about healthy competition, not something which I'm not inclined to, or and I endorse to it.
So let me ask you another question here. So when everyone is trying to do the same and everyone wanted to be the best in their industry, how can we actually make sure that we have edge over others? Yeah.
Yeah, see, true. Man, see, you're probably talking about from a context of a student or aspiring entrepreneur. But in real life, it is slightly different. So in college like scenario, you have your people, you have your peers right sitting right next to you. In a job market, or an entrepreneur, or in a professional market, you don't get to speak to your competitors every day. So in any case, in general, if it is student scenario or a company scenario, common thing will always be your problem solving ability, how different you design or structure your processes, your ability of solutioning of a problem, your approach can always be different. So understand, even if it is Ola or Uber, they do the same thing. It's how you do it. It's how you design your structure. It's how you design your problem.
So basically, what can we get from this is it's all about how we are going to execute is what all matters, because we are not in touch with the competitor directly, as we are as students and as we are maybe teachers. We know what other peer students are doing, maybe playing PUBG, maybe you maybe studying. We know that, but as in competitor's point of view, we don't know that internal information, what's being motivated and what is their approach and what they wanted to buy. So it's all about how we're going to execute is what all matters, and everything which we think from scratch, starting from scratch, the product, the solution, the customers, everything plays a vital role to have an edge over others. And you are the thing. You need to have your own uniqueness. That's what I understand from this.
True. I mean, everyone is designed in a way that they have their own uniqueness. Their resources are different. Their education, their backgrounds are different. And to be honest, you don't really have to, be so curious about what others are doing. I mean, this kind of will demotivate you. So you need to understand everyone has their ability of doing certain things. They will do with their own skill set, their own resources around them, people supporting them, nurturing them. You can't compete with anyone. The only thing which you can do is you can understand what they're trying to do, probably do it better. And yeah, we have ability of doing things better than others for sure. But then don't think too much about what exactly they're doing. It's all about what is in your mind. And if you conquer that, no competition will actually impact you. Even if it is there, it is there. I mean, it is a good sign. We should have competition around. Otherwise, you will not benchmark yourself. You will not understand where you should target. But then most of the competition is inside your head, not outside. Inside your four walls which you're staying.
So, I mean, that's a really cool point. Most of the competitions are inside your head, but actually it is not. So, yeah, that is really a good way of seeing it. So, let me ask you another question. Go to another question which is being asked by our company. So, what are some good practices to inculcate to have a healthy business competition? I mean, yeah, what are some of the good practices which companies do follow to have a good healthy competition?
Can you guys hear me? I missed Harsha's last 5 seconds. Okay, sure. Okay. So there are no good practices, Harsha. We don't necessarily have a notes to it, or set any benchmarks, or have a diary written saying that, okay, fine, these are the best practices. Let's not do this. The whole thing about competition and all, it is good to interact with them. Understand what exactly is being done. We don't necessarily get into too many insights about it. And yeah, good way of doing it is going to their website, reading their PR constantly. Uh, but then if I've seen founders, I talk to a lot of founders in the same industry, and I get insights. I understand what they are doing, and try to see if we can also solve that. We can also provide that to our customers. It's See, it's not good practices, bad practices. This happens all through. Your competitor analysis is a part of. It becomes a way of life. So, things we shouldn't do is like directly poach their employees. If there's a customer, you can talk to your competitors' customers. You can pitch about your product. You can tell that your product can do certain things better than them. Maybe better pricing, maybe better features. That is upselling. That you can do. That everyone does it. But then you can't go under the table and then get intelligence by bribing anyone or bribing your customers. Those are not good practices. Poaching is done, but then it has to be done in a very decent way, in a very honorable way. So these things people understand. Nowadays, the dynamics of business have changed so much. There is a lot of cutthroat competition across. People understand that these are all part of your life, but then certain ethical things, you understand what you should not do.
So what I get from this is, so the things are being done. That is like people do this coaching and all this kind of non-ethical activities, but it's all up to us how ethical we want it to be and how good in relation we want it to be with our competitors. So that's what I get from this point. And yeah,
Poaching is not wrong, by the way. Why poaching is considered non-ethical? But then, yeah, poaching is done. But poaching, see, there's nothing called poaching. You talk to employees of different companies and want to see if they want to come and join you. If they want to join you, they understand if it is. See, it is all upselling. You tell that there are certain things better than what you are getting there, which is fine. You upsell, and it is up to the person whom you are talking to decide whether they want to continue with the existing one or want to take your route.
okay. So yeah, so then I mean, this is another question which is being. I mean, there's not this question which is being faced by a lot of VCs and all a lot of early stage startup people. That some of the entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs, they say they don't have any competition and they are the first person to come up with this brilliant idea, or they are first person to come up with a new total segment which actually changes the entire industry and is not being done with any other company till so far. So, what is your take on it? Is it like no company has a competitor? I mean, is there any idea which can be generated which has no competition at all, or else is there anything like you are making always a new market with that particular idea?
That potentially can be one of the reason. They're trying to solve something which is very very unique. On the other side, probably their market analysis is not, not have been done properly. So market research is also very very important. One need to understand that we have evolved as a country, or even matter of fact around the world, people have evolved. They have worked on business ideas. So a lot of ideas would have already have come in the market. They wouldn't have seen the same limelight like other companies have. So there's no idea which is unique these days. You only pick on certain problems within a very good idea which is already existing and try to solve them. The solution is great, and is solving a great problem for set of people, set of that who become your customers. Then your idea is here to stay.
So, what I understand from this is it's not only about the problem you're solving; it's also about the right market research you are going to do, so that this gives you a really good information of the different market segmentations you are going to pose your idea into, or else create a problem solution for that. Really, a product market fit is what a business term used over here, and yeah, to develop that, we need to understand the market so nicely. And as you said, there might be possibility that that's totally a new problem which is being addressed, and there is no something like a competitor for that. But eventually, I think after seeing their business model, competitors will come into their space if it's a really successful business. So, but I
That
think
is true.
so I think by the time they will realize that the people are coming, like companies are coming behind us to make similar kind of products, so that I think they'll figure out a way to come out and be stand out from the competition which is not existing before. Yeah, so
So
that's
no idea, Harsha. There's no idea which is unique, and that's what I'm trying to tell. You might have a unique problem. The idea might not be unique. The problem might be unique. How you give solution to that problem might be unique. And market research is, you need to understand, even if you're solving a problem, there might be companies who might be solving it differently, or might be doing they might be solving a problem which is closer to what you are solving. So that is always a threat. You will have that the thin line where your competitors can always enter. It's because the idea which is the problem which you're solving is not addressing a greater market, not addressing a big problem. Sorry, not addressing a larger crowd
audience, you mean larger
audience. Yeah,
audience.
yeah.
So yeah, so this is so by this we understand there will be a gap, and wherein competitors do take that gap as an opportunity, and they come and take over you, even though you started with a problem, as you termed it. It's always a problem which is unique, not the idea, because ideas, they can also come with the similar ideas. So yeah, that's what I understand from this. And yeah, so this is another question which is being asked by one of the Vision Talks students. They say that if startup idea is actually a service, and it's not a product based startup, and which cannot be patentable, or which cannot be intellectually owned by the own company. So like then it can be easily copied, because it's totally service, and they can see the process so clearly, other companies who wanted to target them. And they might come up with some better UI, they might come up with some better UX, because of their huge resources. If they have it, then yeah, what that would be a big problem to the company which actually started this. And because it is not intellectually owned by them, so what kind of things which they need to do, so that they stay in the competition, and how to handle the situation which is not intellectual.
Okay, so as a aspiring entrepreneur, especially when you want to try entrepreneurship while studying, don't think about your idea being copied. Instead, think about what is the size of the crowd or audience which you can address with your solution of a unique problem. And don't worry about it if there's a huge market, and even if someone is trying to copy a market, your customers will be your customers. Even if someone else start a similar idea, the way you solve the problem for your customer will be unique thing, and they will obviously will come back and get you more clients, or your service will get you more clients. Your ability of marketing your idea will get you more clients. But as long as you focus on your customer, existing customers, focus on your team, focus on your idea, how innovatively, how quickly you can provide solutions to your customers, your customer service, your retention plan. These things will make sure that you are ahead of anyone in the market space. And with a huge volume of customers, huge volume of people who require a lot of services, only thing which you have to focus on mind is how quickly you can deliver your solutions and retain your customers by good customer service.
So yeah, so basically, I think that it's all about it's all in the company which actually started it, and it's all about how quickly they deliver their customer requirements and how they address their customer needs and how fast the market changes. They need to change accordingly and push forward. That's what I say. So it's totally hustle. It's what they do. That's what I understand from this.
True.
So
True.
yeah, let me go to another question, which is also very interesting here. So yeah, again, this is a question from again early stage entrepreneurs who are really afraid of what happens if huge corporations with lot of resources and lot of manpower with lot of money as well. What if it tried to, take on an emerging startup on maybe they want to just take over. Maybe there is huge hotel chain and they want to take over your restaurant chain, and how it would be really hard. I think it will be really a really tough situation for that person who thinks that huge companies will take over the companies which you started recently, and with their resources they can just stamp you. So what is your take on, will huge companies do take and push these startups which are competing in the similar lines, or else what is your take on whether a startup can take over those huge companies, maybe by merging them, maybe by merging with them, maybe acquired by them, maybe like they wanted to stay apart and still wanted to fight with those companies so that they believe on their features, they believe on their execution. So, what is your take on this particular concept?
See, the way big companies think, Harsha, is completely different. They don't compete or come into a space where a startup is working until unless they see a huge market and revenue coming out of it. Two things which generally happens is they are not worried about a startup who is trying to solve a problem. If they are not worried about the startup who is doing that, that means the startup haven't found good revenue out of it, good customer base, or any impactful solution where it can serve a large customer base. Until unless big corporations don't show interest in. So your big companies wouldn't be your competition until you really grow to a level that they actually see you as a threat. In that case, what happens is big companies either try to buy you, or they try to see if they try to buy you to kill the idea, or probably merge you with their company and work together.
I think this gave me a bit of relaxment, wherein what I understood is at starting stages, by just seeing your product, the big companies won't come and directly take you over with their huge resources. I understood that after we have reached a bit of limit or a bit of place in wherein we say that our idea is really changing a lot of people's problem, and then I think big companies will look over it as a thing which can be captured, so that we won't be part of their customers, so that they might acquire us, or else they might just take our idea and totally end it out. So yeah, that is, I think, is very very understandable. And I know recently, even though Facebook wanted even to include Snapchat in their system of communication apps, but Snapchat rejected $9 billion from Facebook. So yeah, these are company games. Even though Snapchat is really big company, and yeah, I think I understand this, that after you become huge, then only companies come and buy out your problem and solution. I think at that particular stage we will have good insights of how to deal that situation.
That is true. And as a startup, if you really want to compete with big companies and all, let's not focus there as of now. You should grow brick by brick, establish your company, win customers, win another set of customers. Then if you establish a good mark in SME space, then target corporates, bigger companies like Nasdaq listed or Fortune 500. You can do that. You can slowly evolve as a company and build more larger customer base and get noticeable.
Yeah, so starting bit by bit, capturing small markets, going to a different customer segment, capturing that segment, going to a different customer segment, capturing that segment. I think this is how we build our. This is a good way to build the customer base and grow big. That's what I understand from this. So again, there's the question which says, "What is the key value according to you, which puts you edge over some companies who are our competitors? Is it like UX, UI design, or the product design which you're going to make, which is going to be edge over our competitor? Is it like the marketing thing which we wanted to do? I mean, big crazy marketing like how Apple does. I mean, Apple is really good at marketing its products, and what is it like affordable pricing? What do you think is the, or is it something else which I didn't even mention over here? Maybe not UX, maybe not marketing, maybe not pricing. Is it something else which is a very key thing which startups miss out to capture a huge market?
Nothing. All the points which I've mentioned comes later, but then before that, good team. Then setting up a team which can do multiple things, nurturing a builder team, and relentless energy or passion towards achieving whatever your vision statement or your goal which you have set. Even before your UI UX or anything else, your pricing strategy. Before that, you should establish a good team, passionate people, set of people who understand your goal. First build that, rest of things will fall in place. I mean, the UI UX pricing strategies are all later, but then first victory would be explaining your vision to selling your vision to someone else. Your first customers can always be your employees or people who are working along with you, associates who would like to partner with you, work with you closely. I mean, UI UX are not always there. You need pricing strategy. Those are like secondary things, that will happen. If the team is good, team with multiple skills and all, join your team. You establish a vision, and everyone understand that objective. I think that comes first.
So so it's totally out of the points which I mentioned over here. But yeah, I think where we miss out is building a great team which has a lot of complementary skills and which has a vision and mission in themselves to take the company forward. And I think they can come up with any different strategy which will make sure that they'll stay ahead of the competition. And that's really good point of looking over it. It's totally internal, not external. It's the team which
Absolutely.
is yeah. So
Absolutely. There's no competition until you. The competition you're worried about all the time is not even a competition. It becomes a competition only at a later point of time. Most of the competition is inside your head or inside the room which you are working, hustling. That's where the entire game starts. Rest of it is all things which will always fall in place if the basic things are sorted.
okay. So I understand this concept of teams is really important. So can you throw some light on how in your company Truepush, and I think you already worked in a lot of companies which related to so many different fields like cookery. I mean that is like and travel. So these are all you worked in a lot of industries. So can you throw some light on to our audience how to actually make that crazy team? I mean, how did you do being a part of your company? Is it any strategy you use, or is it just like regular thing? Give a test, take an interview, and see whether his personal goals matches with your company goals. Voila, he's inside the company. Or is it some other strategy you see in your team members who will be part of your team? So, can you throw some light on how did you do?
Even before hiring a team, you need to understand what skills you're very strong at. What is your understanding in overall market? What is your understanding of problem which you're solving? How would you solve it? The strategy has to be in, and even if it is not on paper, at least in your mind. Yeah, it is always advisable to have things on paper. That's a different story. Once you understand that, I always believe that working with a young team is much more comfortable than you work with people with experience. Once you start working with them, you kind of have a plan in mind, and then you nurture that team. Everything doesn't come like a everything doesn't come like a ready-made thing to you. You'll have to build it. You'll have to struggle for it. You have to work towards it, nurture it to become part of your journey. And then once it happens, automatically rest of the things will, as I told it will obviously fall in place. But then I always believe that working with young team is much better when especially in initial days, nurturing them, you know, kind of give them the path or the same passion which you have. To be honest, when I started Truepush, I started with two young people. One of them was like just not even finished college, first year of college, 18 years old, passionate, had the drive. The other person was barely, just finished college. We started with interns, and now today we have 30 people, 30 people strong, and yeah, most of our team members are like either still studying in college or probably just finished college, maybe less than a year experience or so. And to be honest, we hired the experienced folks and then actually backfired. Did not work out for us. I mean,
So
it might not be the case everywhere, but then I feel young and passionate team is much more comfortable with the initial stages than actually hiring experienced folks. Until and understand you actually feel there's a requirement, or you are ready to take up, or you are not able to actually focus on something which you want to do, then hiring an experienced person is something which you can explore.
to add to those points, that young team is actually a good team, according to you. Even Vision Talks, in my company also, it's like 97% of the people are very young. They're students and they wanted to achieve something great. So they really drive with the motion of the company and motive of the company. So yeah, so I think we students also and young team also are really, if in case we don't have any good expertise in the industry, we learn it. We'll try to include that in our company and make it a big progress. So I understand working with the young team really good, because I myself I think I'm really young because I'm still 20s, and my team members are also in 20s and 19s, and they really are doing great work. They are learning as well as making us also to learn great stuff. So I think that's a really good thing to start with a young team, because they will be in focus with the company's goals and models. Okay. So as of now, I see there are no questions coming up in the questions coming up in the questions section. So audience, if you have any questions, please do ask those questions. Like, it's known that if you understand in the session everything clearly, you want to ask questions, or if you don't understand anything, you will not ask questions. So there will be a stage wherein you have so many doubts you want to ask the speaker you brought here. So please put on some questions if you have some questions. Okay. So what do you? Okay, I'll ask you another question. So if you go, I'm not getting any questions, so I'll ask you a question. So what do you think about this session? Is it really good and amazing? Just give some emojis which throw some light, which will encourage us to do similar kind of sessions. So yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so you guys are hearing this. That's what I understand from this. Okay. So, I mean, I really wanted to thank Ravi Vaka, because this session was just planned 2 days before, and we want to be consistent in what Vision Talks is doing. So every Saturday we're going to put a lot of sessions which are really good, as much content delivery as Ravi Vaka. It's very insightful when professional people talk about what all they do. And yeah, I want more number of audience to join in later sessions. So yeah, so again, I'm not getting any questions from audience. I hope that everyone understood it properly. Okay, I got a question. Okay. How do you manage your team on marketing, sales, building technology, considering the productivity and scale of your business growth? So, how do you manage all this kind of different teams but still we want to be very productive and scale your business growth? So, what is your take on this, sir?
See, obviously, as if you're trying to build a company, you will have a lot of divisions or different teams which work closely with you. So until unless you are organized as a person, you won't be able to organize large teams. So one way of doing it is you have your agenda set, and you drive it with the team. Once your agenda is set, your KPIs are set, I think that becomes it becomes easy to manage larger teams. So for that, you need to be diligent about what exactly you want to work, what you want to achieve. Have set quarterly goals, set half yearly goals, and yearly goals, and then try to achieve it. And most importantly, you need to spread the spread what is there on your mind. Spread talk about your vision. Make your team understand, but also tell that how you want to achieve it. So if you're able to do that, and obviously being organized is another thing which I've mentioned. If you're able to do that, I think managing large team is not a challenge at all. Most
Okay.
of the times,
So
it is not the complexity of what you work. It is basically complexity of how easy you make it for team for them to start working. It definitely is not large. If you think that big teams is a big problem, no. It is basically how simplify you make their life easy for them to work. Solve that roadblocks which stops them from innovating on different ideas, thoughts. Those are the challenging things. Not number is not never a challenge.
okay, so that's a really cool way of saying that if you just block all the obstructions which we put on our team, the problem solutions will be like the solution to manage the team will be light over there. Maybe teams themselves will make a good way to how to reach them and approach them and do the work. So that's a really good way of putting on how to remove the barriers in the internal organization works and make sure that they have the fullest freedom to explore and give good ideas in making the organization even more better. So yeah, that is a really good take over it. So right now I wanted to ask about the company which you work for, Truepush-free-forever push notifications. So can you throw some light on what is your company and what is that you wanted to do, and maybe our audience will get really use of what you want to do.
Well, we started with push notification service. So the push notifications which you see on websites and mobile apps are actually third-party companies who help them, who work with them, and allow them to send push notifications to their users. So we are in that space. So we have created a wonderful tool called Truepush. Allows them to with a simple piece of code which they can just integrate it with their source code and then start sending push notifications. So we started with push notifications as a strategy, kept it free to acquire a lot of customers. So moving forward, we are getting into a space called customer engagement platform, where we're trying to build a lot of engagement tools for our customers, help them retaining their audience, the website audience or the app audience which they have. You can check our website www.truepush.com. That will give you more insights.
So actually, I never heard of this push notification. I mean, there are this something called as push notifications, and there are third-party apps which actually provide push notifications. I thought developers do build on themselves and they do it. This push notifications. Is it free? I mean, it says free. So is it free, sir? I mean,
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. It is definitely free. There's no frills or any commitments to it. We kept it free because we wanted more and more people using this product. And later we are building a lot of other products, which we obviously needed a pipeline for us to upsell those products. So we kept it free. With the virtue of that, we are today serving close to 15,000 plus customers across the globe.
oh, so nice. I mean, I think even my company also will use it sooner. I mean, WissionTalks also will be using it sooner in their website. Maybe they'll push the notifications to the audience which is required. So it would be great if we also wanted to use to push notifications. Yes. So yeah. So right now I wanted to go with a very interesting round named as rapid fire round. So I'll ask you a bunch of questions, and just in a word or two or a phrase, you need to just not think more on it and directly tell the answers. So yeah, first question which I'm going to ask you is, if you were given a chance to be a CEO of an MNC or a very big company, which company?
Good question. Um, Honestly speaking, I haven't thought through this. Why working with someone else when you can make your company MNC itself?
Wow, that's a really, question which that's a really good way of putting answers because if you wanted to be CEO of the company, then this is the company which you wanted to work with. Okay, awesome. So again, this is another question which says, and this should be very quick. So who among all the CEOs who are right now present and alive inspires you the most?
Sundar Pichai.
Okay, Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and now CEO of Alphabet. Okay, so okay, what is that one thing you wanted to completely eradicate from India?
Oh, I think poverty. Poverty yields a lot of problems. Poverty have hampered a lot of things growth in our country. If something which definitely I can do it is is work towards poverty and try and see if we can have creative or tech solutions to eradicate it. And education is something, obviously poverty and education are linked because you need finances to fund. So I would believe that these two things, poverty and education, is something which I really want to, education as an not eradicate, but then improve and eradicate poverty for sure.
Poverty is it is okay. So again, when I get to hear this question because in so many interviews they say what is your biggest fear to the CEOs of great minds or they just have the answer with them what is their greatest fear. So what about you, sir? What is your greatest fear?
I mean, for me, I think fear is a very big word. But then, for me, at this point of time, is getting up and then see a customer churn or a customer leaving our platform. Definitely something which I really fear.
Okay, that's a customer churning and bounce rate if it's more, so it is actually a really big fear of
It
uh,
it it, it freaks me out actually.
Okay, so there is a lot of students over here, and they wanted to learn the art of entrepreneurship, and they wanted to understand how to take over the competition, how to take over the market. Is there any suggestion from your side wherein they can find the best books or else best websites or blogs which you follow or your team follows, and to gain some insights on entrepreneurship or to gain some educational thoughts, processes, and understand those? So is there any best book you wanted to suggest to all the audience? Which
To be honest, I don't read books at all. But one thing which I can definitely tell, give opinion out of. I don't read it because I don't. Time is a different, very bad answer to it. But then I don't read it because I don't like it. Uh, I definitely read a lot of articles to gain knowledge. So one suggestion which I want to give to people is try, start early. It is okay to fail, but start early and try and see if you can start early, especially in college days, is very important. That's where these 4 hours which you have, that is the best time you can actually fail. And to be honest, you will fail multiple times, so don't worry about it. This is my third startup actually. I failed twice miserably.
so what this says is okay. Start early is what makes you stay ahead, and if you start early, you'll fail early, and you'll learn early, and hopefully you'll run a good startup, which is not only startup. Maybe you will be working in good. You'll be taken as a great employee in a big company, and because of all the experience you had before, all the failures, all the learnings you got from there, it will give you a lot of insights, and
Learning
you
and
will be
basically
in.
learning and courage. Courage is something which is respected. You fail. Obviously, people will fail. But then the courage to get up and then say, okay, fine, what has happened is happened, but let me start again. That will you'll be respected for that more than anything else.
Okay. So yeah, so failure and start early is what a key takeaway from the last point. So yeah, so okay, so I think the webinar for 1 hour is done, and I think Ravi Vaka sir is really in a hurry, and he just called me. To he said he's in a hurry, but still he gave the time to be in this webinar, and after that he's going to attend an important meeting. So from Vision Talks, we really thank you a lot to give our audience a huge knowledge and huge and many number of directions and thought processes to go through, and all our see again to all our audience. So we will be having all these key takeaways from the sessions which we directly saw over here in the our LinkedIn page, our social media pages. You'll see what everything happens there. So right now, and YouTube also, there is the live happening of this event, and it will be recorded there. So if you want to check this event again, you can check that there. So again, as I said in the starting, we have a feedback form over here wherein you can give the feedback of the session which happened today this day, and that is the link which I shared right now, which says WT webinar 2 feedback. So please give your feedback. That is very important for us to understand the way we conducting the webinar, and there will be really huge good content which will be posting from next week every Saturday onwards, and we have really interested speakers similar to Ravi Vaka and really experienced speakers to talk on beautiful topics. So stay tuned on our Instagram page, Twitter page, handles, and please do check out Truepush free push notifications forever. That is I think that is a really good free platform to give push notification to engage your customers on regular intervals. So please do check out Truepush, and that will all the handlings, all the postings we will be putting, all the Truepush links and descriptions will be there. So last but not least, sir, how can a person can connect with you? So what is that? Where can we find? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? So where is you that you are available the most?
Sure. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me in. And I sorry, kind of missed out the last part, but then good luck, Vision Talks, and do hit me up if you have any questions, anything further which audience would like to interact and know from me. And you guys can contact me over Ravi at truepush.com or PR at truepush.com, and any of the IDs you can hit me up if you have any questions. We also have internship opportunities which you guys can explore. We are happy to have a lot of people on board passionate about working in the space which we are trying to sell.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And guys, if you wanted to network around, just stay in social launch. You can sit and take some seats, and you can sit and explore and talk to our Vision Talks. And if Ravi sir wanted to stay right now, you can talk. You can talk to him also, but I guess he's in hurry right now. So we'll see. We'll talk to. We'll approach Ravi sir later, and I hope you guys will contact him regarding that internships which he talked about. So thank you very much, sir. We're really glad that you came and did all of this work and gave a lot of insights on how to stay ahead of the competition. We are looking forward to have a lot of information from you as well. So yeah, pr@truepush.com is where you can connect. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Harsha.